All right, guys. So today we are going to continue on with our semester. We've established a couple of key parameters. Number one is we've talked about how there are two primary mechanisms that I'm going to utilize to get to my turtle. One is I'm going to collaborate with the movement they're doing, which is generally speaking, I'm collaborating with them moving me. I could sort of ride that wave, or I'm evading the movement they're doing. In which case, like say, like he did like a knee cut, he's going to sort of almost like glide past my legs and hips, creating this moment in time, this pocket in time where his weight is not on me. It's kind of like one thing, and I didn't really get too deep into this, but when you think about a knee cut, especially when people do these kind of fast knee cuts, it's almost like hydroplaning, right? You know, like if you're driving your car and it gets above the surface, of the water. It's like if I move something fast enough, the weight comes off. They have to account for these things, like with trains and stuff. You have to account for the fact that if something goes forward fast enough, it will start lifting up. So uh, when someone knee cuts in a way where it's very sudden, very quick, they basically have to alleviate weight off of you to do that because they are creating momentum. And so we can evade that momentum and get to turtle. But uh, we run into some problems. And the big one that we're going to talk about today is, let's see, gentlemen, grab you, you're on top. Knee cuts past my guard. I'm like, yeah, well, I'm up here. And then instead of going to front headlock, he stays at my head. Now, in a perfect world, loosen up, and then slow-mo imagine you were going to, like imagine you were still fighting to pin me at side control, is as he's turning in, I'm already sitting back and clearing his control. But people that you fight tend to have an ugly habit of trying to stop you from beating them. And a real simple way in Fleming and U-Turtle to stop someone from sitting backwards and clearing your control is holding his hips. So if you try to sit back, it's like he's just go ahead and sit back as hard as you can. He's just going to sit back into me passing them. And you'll see people, this happens all the time, people that do these turtle movements, even the really dummy, really dynamic hipped people, so let me grab you, I'll be turtle again, is they keep trying to sit back, and what happens is we end up going to the death hip. Remember we talked about if I fall sideways to this hip, I'm pretty much F. So I fight hard to sit back, just put all of your pressure into me, right? I'm sitting back, and I fall to the death hip, and now I'm here, and now he's grabbing my head, and now I'm like, no, precious face, right? This is no good. So, if this person is death gripping onto my hips, then that is not going to be the route for me to escape. That's not the way to go, okay? We're going to start out working and assuming that their control is not fixed enough that I am completely immobilized and I have to utilize sort of his enclaspment to move myself. Put a pin in that. We'll talk about that later. But for starters, assume he has my hip. The path to sitting back is not there. But there is a path to mobilization that's very sudden and very simple, which is a shoulder roll, okay? Now, to demonstrate this concept in a very simple term, just be like kind of light for a second, is I'm going to roll, okay? Pretty simple idea. We have some hiccups we have to understand. So first and foremost, just to establish what it is that I am intending to have you people do, if I'm here, right, I am rolling over my inside shoulder. You can roll over your outside shoulder, but as an evasive tactic, I don't think it's super sound. I don't think we're really going to get into this today. I could roll over that shoulder if I trap this arm. That starts getting into back take territory and crucifix territory, and I don't want to show something without giving the accommodating, understanding of what could happen to you if you don't do it right. So, I don't think we're going to go too deep into that rabbit hole today. But, if I try to shoulder roll over my outside shoulder as an evasive tactic, I just want you to kind of follow me. It's like, I don't really get much of anywhere. Kind of just look like an asshole, okay? So, maybe they're scrambly and dummy and they just, roly-poly, but man, if that guy's strong, he's got a good upper body control, and he knows how to read your hips, that outside shoulder roll is not going to do a lot for you. The inside shoulder roll, however, facilitates a very interesting principle, okay? Because here's the thing. I'm going to do this wrong, and I'm going to explain why this is wrong in a second. But unless I do the specific thing that I need to do this right, the outcome basically stays the same. You stay tight on me. Son of a bitch! Now I'm pinned again, okay? There's a very important thing that the inside shoulder roll affords me that the outside shoulder roll does not afford me, and this is the critical factor in whether or not you will succeed or fail at this situation. Lila.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. When I inside shoulder roll, okay, what I have the ability to do is I have the ability to hit him with my butt, right? So as I roll, I bump him with my hips.
Oh.
This is super important. This is the critical factor. Watch people who do roly-poly stuff roll and see what happens when the roly-poly people do not hit them with their hips. They just do like a rotation in, the guy circles to the head, circles around, ends up getting north-south, side control, all this. I have to distribute his weight because I have to create an opening, right? So as I go, again, one more time, hold really tight. If I don't hit him with my hips, I just kind of rotate in this hole, and I look like an idiot, more so than usual. However, if I roll, and again, watch, let's go a little bit this way. So hold tight, if I hit him, boom, and I catch this, okay? This is what I'm looking for. Just hold your arms like you're cool, cool. Catching the back of my knee, the back of my calf, I guess the calf in general, against his ribs, right? So if we rewind, and be super loose this time. So actually, I want you to just sit here and do this, right? So imagine, I bumped him, and I catch. Right? You see that? So if I'm up in this halfway moment, here, then I use this as a frame as this pendulum's around to recover my guard. Right? So again, if you guys watch this leg movement, about halfway through, cool. I hold, I swing, and I recover. So if I put that all together, you're kind of holding on to me. I'm here, you can hold on to it. I'm here, inward shoulder roll, so my elbow goes in, put my ear to the floor, look between my legs. Bump, catch, and recover. Now you guys may have noticed something very interesting that can happen here. So that looks, does anybody have any questions on that? Killer, because we're going to throw in one little wrinkle. Remember that once I have something to frame off of, so when I have something to frame off of, I have something to push my hips up off of. So, if I happen to catch this moment in time just right, he's hugging my hip, right? And it really, it just kind of depends on the situation, but this does happen. I'm here, ping pong, catch, and there's my triangle, right there. Good to go, and finish. You watch Fabricio Werdum, when he fought Fedor, this is exactly what he did to beat him. He actually used two of the big movements we used in this semester. What he did was, this isn't part of the semester, but he took a fake fall. He knew that if Fedor came in and started hitting him, Fedor had heavy hands, like he's always did. Even now, it's still dangerous. So he took a fall, and then Fedor dove in his guard and started throwing hands. At that point, he shucked the leg. He underhooked and threw the leg over, so underhook and chuck my leg. The pass, boom, right? Fedor starts trying to circle to catch his side, his hip. Werdum comes back, boom, and he bites him. Right? And at that point, that's where he got it. Okay? So I want you guys to practice both of those things. Now, I'll grab someone else to demo. Actually, so, I'll show the inside shoulder roll, Jim, so you can see that just in kind of set up. I'm going to show one more detail, nuance about the triangle. So he's here, right, and again, you can hold a little tight. If I do not bump him with my hips, if I just try to roll, boom, end up right there. That sucks. And everyone's like, look at this asshole. Look at this idiot, right? What I have to do is as I go, I have to bump him. And that's where the guard recovery comes in. I catch the leg, and I swing and pendulum in. Now the key with the triangle is, right? And did I do a good angle on this with my legs? Killer. So as I go, boom, catch. I have to launch my hips in the air to bite. And even if I don't get a full-blown triangle, at least I have the diamond, and you can work from there. But the key there is, and you can ask Jimmy, and you can ask George, it's like that leg that finds his hip, It's like I pressure off of it to wedge my hip or drive my hips in the air. So it's almost like you're doing a bridge off of your calf. Doesn't give you a lot of height when you're on the floor, but by approximately back that, I'm at a higher surface than the floor, right? If I had like a table here to press my calf off of, you can elevate my hips pretty high. Does that make sense? Excellent. Let's partner up. Work it out. 1, 2, 3. Thank you, George.